When you were growing up in Longview, Texas, is this what you dreamed would happen to you someday?
No, man, not at all. Never really thought about it. I don't know what I wanted to do at that time.
Growing up, who were your influences? Did you see someone growing up on TV or the movies who you thought, like, that person inspires me?
Look, the first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not, I know who I am. That's not the first step. The first step's usually, I know who I am not. Working off of the truth is a wonderfully liberating incentive for me. It's more than a blueprint. It's the blueprint of what to work off of and a responsibility to uphold. And so being a good man's a lot harder for good reason. You're not going to be most popular, not going to be always most affable. Are you really chasing the things that have meaning in your life? Because things that have meaning take maintenance. They break down. It hurts. It sucks. We get bruised. We get older and the black and whites turn to gray, and then there's a great word, compromise, we all say, which is such a mature thing to do. And the beauty of ignorance, those things that we believed in. I've gotten away with so many things because of my ignorance. I'd be dead 14 times in this life if I wouldn't have been ignorant of the situation I was in. A good man's not looking for trouble, but if it comes, and if he or something he cares about knows we're susceptible, a good man does what he can to do to stop that. These are the crumbs. They come in the form of regret, guilt, and remorse. You leave crumbs today, they will cause you more stress tomorrow.
But now that you're here, one of the top actors of the country.
Yeah.
It's a good place, huh?
Great place. Yeah.
Would you change anything?
Would I change anything? Trying to think, I'm going through my head right now, where have I sacrificed my own character to get ahead so then to be perceived as, and I know I've done it many times. Being a marketeer too, you know, gotten away with stuff, played games and da-da-da-da-da. Kiss the fire and walk away whistling.
A little Icarus light.
Yeah. So I grew up only knowing sort of the courage of the persistence. Be resilient, endure, get up, dust yourself off, go. The problem with that, the Achilles heel with that is if you get up and get the courage to keep on going every time and get up and dust yourself off, you make the same mistakes each time around because you never backed up to have what I've now learned and still learning is the courage to go, no, I'm going to let some people pass me in the race right now because I'm going to look at why I keep stepping in that damn same pothole and twisting my ankle, the same spot.
And that requires, I think, a lot of courage and hope and self-belief and faith in order to let go of something good for the chance at something that you think could be great.
Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of people wish that they had a little bit more fuel for.
It was a big risk. It was a big chance. And it was no guaranteed return ticket. It was a one-way ticket, possibly to...
One-way ticket to a dead end.
Or to something new. But a one-way ticket. What has given me significance for so many years and decades in my life. We're not going to get nerves at the goal line. If we don't know where the goal line is, we're not going to get down the line and go, oh, I pulled a parachute.
Even if it's a $14 million parachute.
Even if it's a $14 million parachute. Making that a choice that was inevitable, that there was no pulling the parachute on, sure as hell helped with the endurance of me being away for what was 20 months. That 20 months was really hard. And I've said it before, that proverbial bottle on the shelf was looking better and better earlier in the day as time went on. I mean, how many more times could I work in the damn garden, man? I'm not a gardener for life. I like this, but I gotta, come on, man. I did have a real belief, whether I was tricking myself or not, that there's a bigger pot of gold for me on the other side of this if I just out-endure it. I'll out-endure this summit. And it became a little like the year in Australia. I started to gain pride and honor with the longer the penance went on of being without what I wanted. And I started to be like, well, I'm definitely ain't backing out now, man. I'm 6 months in.
Turns into momentum.
All in a year later, I'm like, I'm a year in, man. This is getting good. Okay, come on. And then the scary part was I started to entertain the idea of, yeah, man, it may just be how it is now. And that scared me. And then I got angry at that, and I'm still in the midst of some anger with that, which is a bit of that rage thing, which makes me act upon it and go, Bullshit. I'm not conceding, and I don't think anyone really wants to concede that that's just the way it is. And if it is the way it is, and the reality is not enough to get off to, let's go to the dream. Let's flip that script. I want to fight against it. So I flipped it and said, let's go to dreams. Let's go to poems, prayers. These are pursuits of an ideal beauty. These are in between the lines. This is in between the math. This is not academic. This is not intellectual. These are ideals that we pursue, the beginner's mind that we have as a child before we know worse. And I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to be foolishly optimistic. Let's look to those and believe that we can still make those real. Let that bring rhyme to the reason instead of looking to the reason to find the rhyme. More backbone to hold on and be principled to what I stand for, what I stand against, when it becomes easier and easier to just go with the flow. And I'm not ready to go, let's just go with the flow. I don't want to pick the wrong battles. I'm trying to be discerning and not picking the wrong fights, because I like picking fights and going after challenges. But I'm in a place, I'm kind of like, man, it's tough duty to win the fair fights. And there's a lot of unfair fights out there. And why do I want to spend my time, if I got 24 hours a day, picking unfair fights when I'm going to be busting my ass to win the fair ones?
Well, also picking fights with yourself. You hinted just there at the difficulty of a negative inner voice. You take things seriously. You care about what you're doing. You want to achieve things in this world, which means that you need to have high standards. You need to posit an ideal. But as soon as you posit an ideal, you then begin to compare yourself to that ideal. And often you find yourself lacking because it's an ideal.
So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero's always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not. And that's just fine with me, because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing.
It's going to take punk rock, a rage. It's going to take getting wild. It's not going to be necessarily logical. It's not going to be tame. It's not going to be whispered, I don't think. No emotion gets more shit done than rage. For good or for bad. Seems like rage really moves the needle. You know what I mean? And I think that emotion and that approach shouldn't be thrown out when you're talking about a pursuit of peace or contentment. I mean, it takes sweat equity. It will take blood being drawn. I don't believe that we're as evolved enough species to just behave as we intellectually can agree we should be. I don't see it happening. We can all agree with it in an open forum. Enough of us go back on our own and that ain't what we're doing. It's a good idea. But boy, when we're cornered and what we got's being possibly trespassed on, be very primal.
Some lines need to be drawn.
I believe so.
Model the rise, not the result.
I like that.
Model the rise, not the result, because the result is where they're at now. Do not ask Warren Buffett about how long he spends reading the newspaper and poring over old books. That guy was a hustler. He was a hustler when he was young. What did you do when you were at the stage that I am at? Not what do you do now? Right. Because I want to get to where you are. That means I don't do what you do now. Right. I do what you did to get there.
Don't study the result. What was the person doing when they got there? And everybody who's achieved something great was some sort of outlaw. Some sort of hustler. Out of balance, out of whack, dark times. Whoa. Still wakes up in the middle of the night and glad they're wearing a mouth guard because they had chipped all their teeth with that fucking nightmare they were having about those things they did back then. I'm one of those.
Without complacency, trust that time is on your side. What do you mean there?
Yeah, man. I'm going to get a header behind it. And I can get in a rush. And I haven't found... Look, and I know how to hustle, and let's go. The clock's ticking. We're all behind. All hands on deck. We got to bust ass. No time for pause. There's no sleep, no nothing. Get the caffeine out. Let's go. Sometimes we got to do that. But that is usually because an unforeseen circumstance has happened, that there's a crisis we got to deal with, or we've procrastinated, and I put myself in that position where we got to cram. But it's not those two circumstances. We got to watch ourselves. We're forced to think and feel, especially today, with how fast things move. That more productivity, faster pace, more information, faster pace. That's better. We're ahead of time a lot, but time's still moving at the same speed. And they're not given more than 24 hours a day, even though me, like a lot of people, are looking for more. There's not any more unless you just want to change your work day. And some people do. Me, I need my 9.5 hours sleep. If I want to say I'm getting 4 hours sleep and get 5.5 hours more of a work day to be more productive, I would, but I'm not making that trade-off. It's on our side. It's the Lego set, man. And you sit there and you get in a rush, you don't read the directions, you get to the end and you've got 12 pieces left. And you're like, shit. Because you got in a hurry. You got ahead of time. Instead of just that feeling of, I've checked out what I need to do and it's all adding up and this thing's built right and the foundation's right and boom, there's the last piece, it fits. Voila. It was with time. Time's on our side. It's not an enemy. The end. Death is not the enemy. I do believe that part of, not in a rush to get there, and we want to stave it off sometimes, and that it can be a screaming fight, and partially denial can help us get there. I understand that, but still, it's on our side. It's going to happen. And since it's going to happen, and that's non-negotiable, might as well go, well, I'm not going to rush to try and make more of it than there is. I want to try and spend the time I got as well as I can, produce, succeed, achieve, well, whatever those things are, but also at a pace that I'm me, that I like to dance to. I like the give and the take. I like the reverb. I like the cause and effect of how things are happening at this pace. The rom-com time, that was definitely me doing the work I was doing and only being able to do the work I was doing and offer the roles I was getting in the rom-coms was eating at me. Because I felt like life is good, man. I make good money. I feel like I can roll out of bed and do one of these tomorrow morning. Well, that's cool. I'm the go-to guy for this. I was countered by, I had met Camilla, fallen in love. She's now pregnant with her first child. My life was extremely vital and I was alive. Cried harder, laughed louder, felt more joy, all those things. But my work was like, all right. And I was like, well, I wish my work could be as challenging or as vital as my life. And I remember looking in the mirror going, well, be glad right now. Appreciate that it's not the other way around. But can I have my work challenge my lifestyle in this vitality? Yeah, if I do some dramas I want to do, well, those aren't coming. All right, if I can't do what I want to do, let me quit doing what I was doing. Now that was, it was definitely courageous. I did honestly think I'd written myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. People close to me, basically almost everybody besides my wife was like, what is your major malfunction, little brother?
You got it made.
Why are you throwing a jackknife in this stuff where you're tripping yourself running downhill, man? You did it. I had my wife and myself to remind myself of that 4 a.m. clarity that I had in tears when I was like, no, I'm rolling the dice. I'm sticking with it. Yeah, man. I did think I wrote myself a ticket out of Hollywood. I did look at other vocations, become a teacher, a wildlife guide. I seriously looked at those things. But over time, and it was about 20 months, it was gone long enough, had found anonymity enough, was not in your living room in a theater in a rom-com. You didn't see me on a beach shirtless. Where is he? Turning down the $14.5 million offer. Maybe people go, oh shit, what's he up to? You don't just step out of Hollywood and enter, unless you turn that down because you got a plan. You got somewhere you want to go. And I think that made me more attractive as a new novel idea. But that was, that risk I think it's fair to say that took a fair amount of courage from me.
For a lot of people, their work feels more vital than their life.
Yeah.
Is that a shiny object, a mirage that they need to rid themselves of?
If you can and you're willing to, yeah. Look, that's part of why I started writing. The script flipped on me 5 years ago. I was feeling like my work was more vital than my life. I felt like I was going through the motions more in my life, but I was really getting major life experiences through my work. And so that was a challenge to myself, which led to the writing, which was a more direct experience. Can I put a word down it's my script and without my performance on it, without music, without pictures. So that was an inward journey that I'm still on. Yes. Confidence, identity, testing it out, and it can work. Confidence to go, I'm going to try and pull this off. Maybe get away with it. Maybe it won't work. Pulling things off. And I have an innate ability for something that I believe I have the innate ability. And I learned the reason behind that instinct and how to Where's the right time? Timing. Oh, and it'll work, I think, right here. Who's the audience I'm talking to? Oh, yeah, I'm going to make a plan for that sell, if it's all sales, or that transaction, or whatever it is. And bam, it hits, and it lands like I wanted it to. Dogs, damn it, was that deja vu? It happened. That's how I saw it. I get confidence from that. I don't think it's what the mystics meant when they were like, be disattached. I think it meant go embrace, but for highs and lows and pains and pleasures, understand that those outward things are not the things to be attached to for your own identity. It's got to be inward first. Enjoy those, partake, but don't become attached to those for your measure